36 years next to abusers, manipulators, compulsive liars, pathology. That's my life. I live next to such people and even lived with such people. And that's a total disaster, how toxic societies nowadays are. And not even one psychologist talks about it. I will. So domestic violence. Domestic violence is mainly about abuses, not just like the term domestic violence. And if you are violent, if you commit an abuses against somebody, that's a crime and you can go to court because of that. And kids are at the highest risk of being their rights are to be violated by those abusers. Unfortunately, 3 years old kids, 2 years old kids, very small kids are usually the first victims. And what's about the domestic violence? Well, when it comes to abuses, we have many types of abuses. We have emotional abuse. That's very hard when you are emotionally abused, it's just like by words, by behaviors of people. That's shitty. Intimidation, verbal abuse, blames, threats, coercion, isolation, control. What else? I need to recall it, sorry. Sexual, physical abuse, economic control. What else? Using male privilege. That's interesting. No one said about it on the net. Male privilege over women, females. And usually violence, which is not stopped, that domestic violence and abuses are getting worse and worse, so it's escalates. So now you know, domestic violence, it's not only about violence at your home, but also at work, at home, with your friends, where you stay with your friends, during travels, everywhere. It's the domestic violence is more like simply abuses, starting from misbehaviors, shitty behaviors from others towards you, against you. Okay, so that's first stage, domestic violence and types of abuses included that stuff. And I may tell you that I tried to set up, have blue card when it comes to domestic violence. Many covenants of people tried to simply violate all my rights, and they did it many times. I got also robbed, kicked, just all possible shit. And police didn't help there in it. Psychologist and the policeman and my own family member came one day, and they start shouting at me that I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to stand here, I need to talk with them. It's just like, and people who are here to help us, to protect us. Nice psychologist who was not so nice, like donkey, you need to be that, like you need to send that, you need to obey the rules, you need to what I say you need to do. That's a psychologist, that's a very helpful person in my town. You need to do this, you need to stay there, you need to come back, and coming with my abuser to my place with a policeman in 3 people, against me, shouting at me, and these people were like, strong because 3, and I went to the court for papers, if they will do something to sue them. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a single fuck. And such people say that they are to help, by shouting and abusing you as the victim of abuse and bringing to you more mental torments and more conflicts. And that's the way, when I ask name and surname, silence. Name and surname, silence. With no masks on their faces during COVID. Yeah. So that's the people who should take care of us when it comes to abuses and blue cards, like, domestic violence, protection. They are the main cause. Such people who should protect us are another cause and add more to our pain. And that also has another name in psychology, when society and when people who should help us from the outside, like the police and the social care and other stuff, like, you know, psychologists, do work in reverse to worse, to make our situation worse. That's like reverse, I don't know how to call it, but they cause more harm than help. No understanding, just, you know, the level of education like less than primary, and they've studied probably 6 years or 5 years of studies, you know, 10 times maybe during their profession, and they are abusers themselves. That's shitty, but that's life. I hope I will not meet them. They don't even want to give their name and surname. Just, I may give you name and surname if I would work as that, you know, no problem with that. And people hide even their IDs. When you tell them something, they shout, they attack, but they will not give you the name and surname. And they have public professions for public institutions. How shitty it is, huh? But you are the angry one, you are the shitty one. And they take the oppressor to your place. It's like taking the murderer next to the victim, future victim of who may be killed. It's just, people have no understanding, it's just, and still are kept at their positions. It's awful. So that's abuse, and here are some examples of people who tried to help me. I hope that you will find better people, and that's why I'm here. I'm going to say the truth, how it is, not what people say online because they want to be famous, and they talk the same shit like other psychologists say, like 3 billion people, you know, the same. Now we know what are the types of abuse, not one like physical harm, that somebody need to beat you. Even attempt of that is illegal. Yep, it's illegal and should be punished by the police, who, it depends how they are in your country. Thank you.